Hey everyone, here's a quick deck tech on one of my favorite decks that I'll have with me this weekend at MagicCon Atlanta. If you want to meet up and get a game in, just reach out and let me know.
This deck is all about making different kinds of counters with Perry the Pulverizer and all the other artifacts, enchantments, and creatures in the deck. For every differently named counter, Perry gets bigger and bigger, or can make other creatures get bigger and bigger, and give them trample to swing in for lethal. Definitely a Voltron build, but there are a few other utility creatures that you can use to get in a quick win. There's a bunch of different kinds of counters, such as coin counters, and night counters, and time counters. So there's a whole, I think there's about 32 to 33 different kinds of counters that this deck can make. Some of which are more utility, some of which are just there for the name, but these are the best ones in Bant colors that I can find to really make a functioning pile of random cards work together. We have some utility creatures like Thrumming Bird and Rafik of the Many and Kodama of the East Tree to try to find lands. We have some proxies in the deck because I'm getting a bunch of these signed while I'm at MagicCon. A few ways to draw cards, a few utility cards and enchantments and instants to put extra kinds of counters onto our creatures, some board wipes, what I like to call a Cyclonic Rift at home in Storm of Forms, some utility ways to get in to make extra copies of Perry, and yeah, here are some of the game changers in the list as well. The one that I feel is the most necessary is the One Ring because it provides burden counters and fits on theme. The deck runs 35 lands, some of which make additional kinds of counters like storage counters or charge counters or mining counters. Nesting Grounds lets you move your counters around, and then there's a whole bunch of basics to fetch out with the Kodama, like I mentioned before, as well as some of the other fetches that I have in the deck proxied in. It's a really almost functioning pile of cards, but it's a ton of fun to play and a ton of fun to get to show off. This is definitely my pet deck, my first precon that I've ever had, and I'm trying to bling it out as much as possible. So you see some of the Phyrexian basics, my favorite command tower from the Jurassic Park set, and any other Surge foils or foils of cards I can get. It's a really weird intersection between cards that have foiling and cards that make weird kinds of counters. Some of them aren't around, some of them only came in the precons, but definitely a great set to put together. With all the different kinds of counters that this deck can make, it's actually pretty weird and pretty hard to keep track of them all. So the best way I found out how to do so is to actually make card counters. So you can see as I'm tucking underneath a shield counter, a lifelink counter, a flying counter, and then I'll use D6s because there are ways to proliferate in this deck to show how many of that kind of counter are on Perry. And then I use a D20 and a special blank playing card called the Counter to keep track as they come in and out of the battlefield what kind of counters I have on the field.